Revelation 18, start in verse 1. And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. Verse 2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. So we see in the future, there will still be animals that are unclean. And that shouldn't be a surprise, because we know that unclean food distinctions existed before Moses. Read the instructions given to Noah in Genesis 7, verse 2, if you don't believe me. So we see in Noah's time, there were unclean food distinctions. And we see in the future, in Revelation 18, verse 2, there will be unclean food distinctions. Just bringing it up. Don't get mad at the messenger. And that shouldn't be a surprise. For example, we see, if you read the first 3 verses of Genesis 2, the Sabbath was blessed and existed before Moses. And we know if you go to Revelation, if you go to Matthew 24, verse 20, pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. So it's referring to the greatest time of tribulation ever to exist on earth. It's clearly in the future. And we see in Matthew 24, verse 20, the verse right before the verse that says, then shall be the greatest time of trouble ever. We see in verse 20, Jesus says, pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. And that shouldn't be a surprise that the Sabbath will still be observed then, because we know from Isaiah 66, verse 23, that in a time even more future than Matthew 24, verses 20 through 21, in a time more future than that, even further in the future, I should say, Isaiah 66, verse 23, we know that then all mankind will worship the ever-living one from one Sabbath to another. That's Isaiah 66, verse 23. So once again, just like with unclean food distinctions, same with the Sabbath. We see it existed before Moses, and it will exist in the future. Maybe we should read this book for ourselves and not listen blindly to what pastors who have a vested interest in telling you something else and what pastors have to say. Take ownership of our own salvation, and we should read this book for ourselves. Peace.